Several massive LGBTQ rights organizations are all condemning Pierre Poilievre's recent transphobic and homophobic comments. And despite this, he hasn't apologized or backed down from the rhetoric. Here's what's going on. Yesterday afternoon, Egal Canada released a statement condemning comments Pierre Poilievre made in Richmond Hill recently, where he claimed radical gender ideology is being imposed on children. A completely baseless and transphobic trope that uses a term, gender ideology, that has only ever been associated with anti-LGBTQ and misogynist voices. Faye Johnstone, a prominent trans advocate, had this to say about Poilievre's comments in a video she sent me.
It is absolutely appalling, but unfortunately unsurprising to see the leader of the Conservative Party echoing anti-trans and anti-queer dog whistles. It is him showing his support for homophobes and transphobes who want to bully queer and trans kids back into the closet. And we all, as Canadians, deserve better than that.
Meanwhile, Egal Canada called Poilievre's comments, quote, deeply hateful and harmful, adding, quote, all levels of government have a responsibility to take concrete action to end the violence against the 2S LGBTQI people in our country, and it is frankly irresponsible and unacceptable to see one of our political leaders knowingly contributing to the violence and discrimination. In addition to that, the spokesperson for the chapter of PFLAG, which is an LGBTQ rights organization that encompasses the area where Poilievre made these comments, said that Poilievre, quote, continues to tour the country espousing inflammatory anti-LGBTQ rhetoric, and he does so unscathed. He also added, quote, this isn't necessarily about the political right versus the political left. This is about what is morally right versus what is morally wrong. Meanwhile, even the deputy mayor who was standing next to Poilievre has apologized for nodding and clapping in response to the comments. But Poilievre's spokesperson says, quote, the video stands on its own. One thing that I find personally frustrating about this, as someone who has worked for years covering federal politics in national newsrooms, is the fact that despite all these condemnations and concerns from some of Canada's biggest LGBTQ rights advocates, and with even the first openly trans conservative candidate calling the rhetoric hateful and evil, no one other than myself and Luc Lebrun of Press Progress is covering this story. It's gotten so bad that even the Beaverton, which is Canada's answer to The Onion, has parodied the lack of coverage. Does Canada value trans lives? If so, perhaps it's time to start paying attention to what powerful people say about them. What do you think of all this?